Welcome back. Today we will be reading Splat the Cat. Ice cream for ice cream. Thank you for joining us today. And we have here today a visitor, Paddington Bear with the RCMP of Canada. And he wanted to say hi to all the boys and girls out in the world, in the Netherlands and Australia and Fiji and Canada, the United States, to all the little boys and girls who are watching us. And he says, thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Splat the Cat. Ice cream for ice cream. Splat the Cat. Ice cream for ice cream. And I can read book. Based on the best-selling books by Rob SCOTTON. Copyright 2015 Rob SCOTTON. Cover art by Rick Farley. Text by Laura Driscoll. Interior illustrations by Robert Eckbert. I Can Read book is a trademark of HARPER Collins Publishers. Splat the Cat beamed in the back of the bus. His class was on a field trip to the ice cream factory. Look at the school bus heading down the road with Splat and Seymour in the back looking at us, and the sign that says ice cream factory that way, and that little bird watching them all. I could eat 4 ice cream cones a day, said Splat. I could eat 15, said Plank. I could eat all yours and 1,000,000 more, said Spike. Kitten licked her lips. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream, the friends cried. Look at all the kittens and Seymour the mouse. They're all screaming, you scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream. At the ice cream factory, ice cream swirled in big vats. Pipes steamed. Nozzles gleamed. Wow, said Splat. What a dream! The factory manager greeted them. I'm Mr. Jellybean, he said. Who wants a tour? Hooray! Sang the kittens. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Look at the big vats and inside swirling ice cream, and the pipes all gleaming, and the pipes steaming. And look, there's Mr. Jellybean. Behind him all the different flavors of ice cream. Mr. Jellybean led the class to a back room. The cats' faces fell. There was a chalkboard, chairs, desks, but no ice cream to be seen. Mr. Jellybean cleared his throat. First, let's talk freezers, he said. Some are big, some are small. All are extremely cold. Look at all the poor little kittens, the cats' faces. as they're listening to Mr. Jellybean talk about the freezers. Mr. Jellybean talked on and on. He seemed to love his freezer theme, but the cats did not. Their eyes glazed over, their heads drooped. Look at how Mr. Jellybean is so happy talking about his freezers. And look at how bored the cats and Seymours are. Splat began to daydream that he was making ice cream. His eyes closed, and he leaned against a big red button. Alarms blared, beep, 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 beep. Lights beamed. Splat jumped and screamed. Look at Splat getting bored, and he's gonna touch that big red button. And of course, when he did, the alarms blared, beep, beep, beep. Look at Scat jumping up, and Seymour scared. Steam puffed out of a big pipe, then splat! Ice cream streamed out. It became a huge ice cream wave. Oh my goodness, look at Seymour and the cats running because of all the ice cream splatting out. Look, it looks like a wave across the floor. That grew and grew and flooded the factory. Look at all that ice cream. Waves of ice cream all over the factory. And the kittens. And look, Mr. Jellybean and Seymour in the ice cream cup. They're all trying to get away, trying to survive. Now that's a lot of ice cream, said Plank, taking a taste. Yum! What happened? Mrs. Wimpy Dimple asked. I don't know, said Splat, from under the chocolate chips. Look at Plank, he's tasting the ice cream. Oh, and the other kitten on the conveyor belt, and the other kitten on a bucket or a plank sitting. And look, Mrs. Wimpy Dimple asking Splat, who's under all that chocolate chip, what happened? The class cleaned themselves up. Mrs. Wimpy Dimple counted heads. Everyone there except Seymour! Splat screamed. I have to find Seymour, he said. He ran back toward the door. Wait, Kitten cried. We'll come with you. We're a team after all. See the kittens? Mrs. Wimpy Dimple taking count. And look, Splat remembering. He hadn't seen Seymour. And there's Kitten, saying that she'll go with him to look. Inside, the team checked out the ice creamy mess. Let's look, they said. Be careful, Splat said. Seymour is so small we may not see him under all this ice cream. Look at all the kittens. They've got a shovel, gloves, hats. He's wearing brushes on his feet. Plank has a mop and a bucket. There's Splat with a sponge and goggles. And there's Kitten with sponge and a bucket. And they're starting to clean. Look at that. Under all that ice cream. They're looking for Seymour the mouse. With brushes and buckets, the cats cleaned and ate their way into the factory. "Seymour!" Splat called, but Seymour was nowhere to be seen. Then the team cleaned and ate their way through the next room. "Seymour!" Splat called again. Look at the cats cleaning. With sponges, they're wiping down and they're shoveling and they're brushing the floor. And there's Splat calling for Seymour. I like his red gloves, his goggles, and his hat. He's even wearing an apron. The team continued until the factory gleamed, but it seemed Seymour wasn't anywhere under all that ice cream. Just then, a blob of whipped cream fell onto Splat's head. Splat looked up. Look at all the cats, all the good work they did cleaning the vats and the pipes. It's sparkling. And look, that whipped cream that went splat on Splat's head. There was Seymour. He was way up on a beam. He couldn't call out. His mouth was full of ice cream. Seymour leaped into Splat's paws. Then Mr. Jellybean thanked the team. "The factory is so clean. How can I repay you? Would you like some ice cream?" Look at all the kittens looking up at Seymour. Silly mouse, his mouth is full of ice cream. He can't even call and yell out. He's way up on the beam. And there's Seymour. See, he leaped down into Splat's paws. And see how happy Mr. Jellybean is because the factory is so clean. The kittens really did a good job. The cats all groaned. "Oh, no more ice cream," they said. "For now," whispered Seymour. The end. Look at all the kittens. They're so tired of eating ice cream. It's just too much ice cream in a day. But silly mouse Seymour, he could eat more. So thank you everybody for joining us in the Splat the Cat I Can Read book series. We'd like to say goodbye. Goodbye to all of our friends all over the world, in the Netherlands, Australia, Fiji, Canada, United States, and everywhere else. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again soon. And remember, go back. Take a look at all the pages and all the drawings of the kittens, the ice cream, the school bus, the factory, and Seymour, that silly mouse.